how are you doing? I hope you're doing so great. Today we're going to study a new topic, past perfect continuous. So let's start. Past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous tense indicates a past action that started in the past and continued to happen after another action in time in the past. Namely, the past perfect continuous tense tells us how long the action had continued. The duration of the action is emphasized more in this tense. So, be careful. You don't have to use the past perfect continuous to talk about how many times something happened. You have to use the past perfect in that situation. Remember that past perfect continuous indicates how long an action had continued, right? Then we have past perfect continuous uses. First, something that started in the past and continued up to another action or time in the past. The past perfect continuous tells us how long, just like the present perfect continuous. But this time the action continues up to a point in the past rather than the present. Usually we use for plus time. We can also use the past perfect simple here, often with stated verbs. For example, she had been working at that company for a year when she met James. So, in this case, if you notice, you're using here for a year. So, how long, not how many times. That's why you're using past perfect continuous in this sentence. So, second, something that finished just before another event in the past. This is usually used to show a result at time in the past. It's very similar to the present perfect continuous, but the action finishes before another time in the past, rather than finishing before the present. For example, the jar was wet. It had been raining. So, in this case, the rain had finished before the time I'm describing in the past. We could see the result of the rain. That's why you mentioned was wet. It had been raining. So, let's see the affirmative structure of past perfect continuous. Here you have the subject plus the auxiliary verb in past, had in this case, plus been, plus the verb with ing, plus the complement. So, let's see an example. He had been taking bath since morning. So, in this sentence, he is the subject, had the auxiliary verb in past, right? Taking bath since morning, that is the complement, right? Let's see another example. Many of the students have been participating in sports for 3 years. So remember how long, right? For 3 years. So many of the students, that's the subject, had, also been, don't forget this auxiliary, that's a second auxiliary, right? And also the verb, the main verb with ing. So, negative. Here you have the subject plus the auxiliary verb in past, had, plus the word not, plus been, plus the verb with ing, and the complement. Let's see some examples. Girls have not been clapping and dancing for 2 hours. So if you notice here, first you have the subject, then the auxiliary had, and before the second auxiliary being, you have to use the word not. So girls had not been clapping and dancing for 2 hours. Also, Peter had not been riding a horse for 2 years. So remember how long, right? 2 years. So, interrogative. Auxiliary verb in past had plus subject plus being plus verb with ing plus the complement, and don't forget the question mark. Remember that you know this, right? You're going to use the question mark only at the end of the question. So, for example, had Linda been waiting for a long time? So, first you have the word had, then the subject, then being, then the verb with ing, the complement, and the question mark. So, you have to answer yes, she had if it is affirmative, or no, she hadn't if it is negative, right? Remember that this is a yes, no question. So, WH word plus had plus subject plus being plus verb with ing plus the complement and the question mark. So, let's see an example. Where had he been eating? So, if you notice here, you are using the WH word where, also had, then the subject, then being, and then you are using the verb with the ing. Where had he been eating? So, the answer in this question must be long. For example, he had been eating in his favorite restaurant. So this is the answer, right? You can say he had been eating in his favorite restaurant for 3 years or for 2 months, etc. Right? So that is like how long the time there. So guys, that's all for today. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye bye.